motivation, positivity, encouragement, and I know where to get it. Let's rise. Come on, come on, rise. Let's go higher, higher, higher. Rise with me, rise with me, Howdy, partner. No, no, I'm just playing, you guys. Hey, welcome to my. Oh, there we go. I knew one eventually, sooner or later, it's going to. Hey, welcome to Rise with Lisette. This is an awesome day that God has made, and I'm going to rejoice and be glad in it. I hope you out there are happy today. Don't let nothing get you down. Just remember, we're going to rise up above what's on top of us, and we are also going to rise up to our potential and to our purpose. All right. All right. Now, today we got a great show coming at you. I hope you had a great weekend. I mean, I thought it cooled down a little bit in Carolinas. I don't know where you're at, but it cooled down a little bit, but now it's rearing back up to the heat. But hey, we're gonna keep it going hot up here today. We got a hot topic for you today. We got none other than we got Dr. Tammy McCullough. So we're looking forward to hearing from her today. But I would like to say hi to all the cast that's behind the scene. You don't know all the people working behind the scene. I'd like to say hello to Kiani Productions, thanks to them, and all of this staff that makes this program possible. So we're going to go right into it. Today we have Dr. Tammy Makata. She is an author of her name of book is that You Are a Designer's Original. Okay. And she's also an empowerment speaker. She works as a community leader, and she also works with youth and victim. She's a victim and youth activist. And also she says she's a conqueror of life. So I mean, how many people out there is a conqueror of life? Is it some stuff you had to conquer? I mean, I'm telling you, I had to give it, I had to get in the fight of life. I had to conquer some stuff. But it's good to be here today, you know. I mean, thank you for appreciating my humor. But you know what? For you out there that's listening and that's watching, make sure that you share. Make sure you share the link with someone because someone needs to hear this today. Also, make sure you do some live chatting. We just don't want you to listen on and watch. We want you to get involved with the show by in the little box down there, press live chat and do some texting and typing your comments and your questions in the little live chat, okay? Because we want to hear from you. Now we're going to move on into let's welcome, please, Dr. Tammy Makata. Let's welcome. We're going to also have Kiani going to be listening on with us, our producer. So we thank God for him as well. So
Yeah.
Tammy. No, I'm just messing. I'm just,
It's okay. I love you.
I love you too, Tammy. You know what? It's so needed in a time like this to have some encouraging words and to have some inspiration in one's life. And I know you said that you've been through a lot and you believe in motivating and encouraging people just like me. And so I'm excited about this interview today. So, Tammy, where are you from, by the way?
I am from Aden, North Carolina,
The little town of Aden.
the little town of Aden. We didn't even have a stoplight. But I reside in Maryland now, Pasadena, Maryland. I've been here since 2017.
Okay, okay. Well, it's kind of interesting. I'm not even going to tell you what my husband and I have talked about. It was one word that I blew the other day. We was talking about the show. But anyway, so we want to talk about your book is saying how that uh, you are a designer's original. And I noticed how that you said how that sometimes people don't know their purpose, and sometimes they get, um, maybe like stalled, or uh, somehow or another they seem to lose their momentum in their purpose. They get started, and then they somehow or another just dwindle down, and they just stop doing what they had purpose to do. This was very intriguing to me. So please talk more about that.
When you ask most people, who are you? The first thing that they tell you is what they do. They don't tell you who they are. They tell you, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a wife, I'm a mother. That's not who you are. You are beautiful, kind, loving, unique. You are amazing, phenomenal. That's what you was created to be. You were created to be a designer's original. And most people do not understand that that is their purpose. So I wrote the book to bring or to reconnect the returning citizen. And when I say that, most people think that I'm talking about incarcerated people. No, they're not the only ones. You have living, breathing people that are free out here in this world, but have lost the sense of their purpose. So that's what that book does. It regains and it redirects you to who you are. You are a designer's original. You are a masterpiece. And how do I know? Because no one before you or after you has your fingerprint. That's how uniquely designed you are. And when you understand that that is who you are, nothing you can do, the lack thereof, where you were born, where you weren't born, the money you have, the money you don't, the right side of the track or the wrong side of the track has nothing to do with it. You were divinely created. You were not an afterthought. You were the thought of Christ. You were divinely masterpiece designed because your fingerprint tells you that. I don't have yours. You don't have mine. All of the millions and billions of people that have died before us, nobody's fingerprint has ever been repeated. That's how special you are.
That's powerful. That is so powerful. That is so powerful. And you know that is so true. And to be honest with you, I don't. There's not another. You know, sometimes I say, there's only one of me. There's only one
Yeah,
of you. And even though you can try to mimic what I do, you're not me. And
absolutely.
I just love that. I really love that. You know, it amazes me how that some people though, um, they admire other people so much that they want to be them and they lose themselves. They forget that they are important. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. And the thing that often baffles me is that people look outside of themselves when really all that they need is within them. You were so created with everything that you need to succeed, to prosper, to be healed, to be helped, to be loved. Everything you need was designed within you. Peace I give unto you. If I say, Lisette, I'm giving you peace, that's a gift. It's up to you to accept it. I don't have the right, once you accept that gift, to come back and take it from you because it belongs to you. But whether you choose to access it or not is up to you. And that's the thing that people don't understand. It goes back to what you were saying. People look outside of themselves to find what is already in them.
Mm,
Everything that they need is in them. But most people never get silent enough. They never sit still enough. They never ask the question, what is my purpose? But they look over the fence at someone else's, and then that green eyed monster rises up in them because jealousy ensues because they feel like that person has something that they don't have.
wow.
And that's not true. They have what they're supposed to have, and you have what you're supposed to have. That's
This
a
is
design.
good. This is good. Tammy, it reminds me of it reminds me of a little baby, a child, how it
Mhm.
comes wrapped up and everything that it's needs is inside that little bitty egg there. I mean, it kind of reminds me. What's those little pseudo plants? What is the tree plants? The little plants that you say you water it. I forgot
Bonsai?
what name.
Is it
Huh?
the bonsai tree?
Right. And it comes a little all balled up, and then you put water on it, and then it
Oh,
just it you know
chia pet.
yeah, cheetah pet.
Chia
That's the one, the cheetah pet.
pet.
And I
Just
said, this is
say
so
cheetah
this.
pet. I love you, Lisette. I love you so much. She said cheetah pet. God bless her.
Because this one reminds me of how then you just put the water on and all the little hair grows and all. It's pretty cool. Sometimes it's like an afro.
Yeah,
It's just amazing because you know that's very important. But why do you think some people don't understand this, or they haven't gotten this message, or they don't quite see it that way? Why do you think is the reason?
because it takes power and strength to be authentic.
Hmm.
Who wants to be ostracized? Who
Wow.
doesn't want to fit in?
Mm,
Who does not want for someone to like them?
mm.
When you truly walk in your authenticity, it's not easy. Authenticity takes power, strength, wisdom, and courage. It takes courage because often you're going to walk alone. It takes strength because when you fall, you may be the one that have to pull yourself up. It takes wisdom to be able to navigate who, where, what, when, and why you need to do whatever it is you need to do at that time. And most people don't walk in their authenticity. We live in a world and in a culture that everything is fashionable if someone else does it. I can't tell you the number of people that went and got Botox because they thought Botox was popular. I remember when I was in school, oh, your nose is too big. Now people are getting Botox in their nose and their lips and everything else. They wanted to look a certain way instead of accepting who they were. The power comes when you are authentic to yourself. You're not supposed to look like anyone else. The beauty is in who you are. The beauty is in what you were called and created to be. And that's hard for most people to accept or even do.
My childhood, I said, well, because I grew up, I was a fatty. Ain't no need of, I was out there. I mean, I was wearing husky clothes, and my father used to say, he said to me, he said, well, Pumpkin is my nickname. He said, Pumpkin. He said, you keep on, eating like this. I'm just gonna get a toe sack, put a hole for your head and for your arms. He said, and it's funny because he went before I was before I got all plump and everything. I was very, very, very tiny, and so he went and got me some Flintstone vitamins and all this stuff like that, Flintstone vitamins. And I took those vitamins and I blew up. And then he gonna come back and try to tease me about it. But no, I used to say, what does that have to do with anything? Well, I always wanted to be small and tiny, like some of the other girls and stuff. And I was teased in school. But the thing is, it's good to be at a desirable weight that is healthy for you. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being small because you definitely need to be healthy. But I remember that I decided that I wanted to be me. And when I did my first CD, I was a little shy about it because I will always sing like Shirley Caesar songs. She's one of my idols there. Shirley Caesar, I love her music, and she mentored me and don't even know it. But when it came time for me to write my songs, it didn't sound like her music. And I said, now, are people going to receive my music? I mean, and sometimes people didn't, because I wasn't traditional gospel, so I'm more like I'm not traditional, I'm more like uh, you know, I'm not traditional. And sometimes words can just leave you, don't it? I know I told the record, I know, and I'm gonna get that in a minute, please. My goodness. No, really. But I'm contemporary. I'm a contemporary gospel artist. So I had to realize that, I'm not going to let anyone make me ashamed of who I am. This is who I am. I mean, this is me. And you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Go ahead, Tim.
I tell you, I give you this short, funny story. Most of the time, when people see black women, what's the first thing they say? The angry black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was working in corrections. That's been the bulk of my career. And there was two categories that they would put the women in because it's a male dominated career.
Right.
Either you were there looking for a mate behind bars, or if you stood up for yourself, you were the angry black woman. Well, I didn't fit in any of those categories. I
Mm.
would come to work, good morning, because that's just me,
Right.
and then I would get, that's not the place for that. You're not supposed to come in here smiling. And I would always say, but why? That's not the environment. Okay, well, you took me out of the environment. Okay, I'm not in a natural environment.
Mm-hmm.
So you want me to come in here and be loose, or you want me to come in here and be a person that is angry because I'm in here working? That's not my personality. I
Mm-hmm.
refuse to fit in a mold that I don't fit into.
Wow.
And when you do that, you get opposition. But when you know who you are, whose you are, and what your purpose is, my purpose has never been has never been to fit into anything. My purpose has always been to be a pioneer. And pioneers forge paths that most of the time they're the first one cutting down those trees.
Mm-hmm.
They're fighting that terrain, they're fighting the weather, they're fighting the land, and they're fighting the inhabitants of that land
Come on.
just to make a path in order to be whatever that is to them. And that's always been me. And when you're like that, you're not going to be accepted. However, you're not supposed to be. You're a pioneer. You're supposed to be that beacon of light that leads the way. Is it lonely? Absolutely. But is it worth it? Absolutely. So you got to make a choice. Do you want to fit in, or do you want to fulfill your purpose of being unique, authentic, and a pioneer? I choose to be unique, authentic, and a pioneer.
That's good.
You know what's so funny? Jim Carrey has a quote that I love. He said it, I think, at a graduation or something. He said, "Your need for acceptance will make you invisible."
Mm.
Absolutely.
That's
I
awesome.
love that.
That
That
is.
is powerful.
That
And
is
it really
powerful.
will, because you blend in with everybody else. The road to destruction is broad.
Mm-hmm.
That when I see everybody running left, you can best believe I'm going right.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody is going right, you can best believe I'm going to go left.
Wow.
Because wherever everyone is running to, that to me is complacency. It's fitting
Okay.
in. You don't have to give 100% when you're running with the crowd, because the
Right.
crowd has momentum. But if you going the other way, you got to give it everything that it got, everything that you got in order to make it. And I'm
Tammy,
just one of those people.
This is really good, but I'm kind of curious. What got you to this position? What got you to this mindset? What did you have to or go through on your journey on your journey to get your mind to the place that it is right now?
Brokenness,
Explain
brokenness. Anybody that has truly been broken, and I mean broken to the point that you don't want to live, broken to the point that you don't know who you are, broken to the point that you don't like you, it'll make you change. Either you going to change or you going to die.
that. Mm,
And
mm,
I didn't want to die. I didn't want to die in misery. I didn't want to die in hate. I didn't want to die in loneliness. I didn't want to die. I did not want to die because my main focus was nobody's going to raise my boys and love my boys, my children, like I am. So if I don't get me together, what hope do they have? So I started working on me. It took me years. I had to silence that voice on the inside. You know, that one that sounds like us, that we
Hmm.
don't pay any attention to, that talks to us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and twice on Sunday. I had to learn how to silence that voice. I had to learn how to focus on the truth versus facts. The truth is what the word says. The fact may be that I'm sick, but the truth says I'm healed.
All right now.
The fact may be that I don't have any money, but the truth says I'm abundant and I'm wealthy.
Okay.
So I started not looking at the facts and started focusing on truth. So when I would talk to me and say, you know what, you ain't gonna never, I would silence that voice and start looking at truth. Yeah, you may be right, but the truth says I'm more than a conqueror. The
Right.
truth says I'm healed. The truth says I'm whole. No matter what nobody else said. I had a lot of outside exterior voices
So who you gonna
that
listen
was
at?
sitting, exactly, that was sitting in the corner looking and waiting for me to fail or fall even further than what I had fallen. But it was the fact that I focused on nobody's gonna raise my kids. That was my why. You have to have a why.
Hmm.
If you
Hmm.
don't have a why, you don't have a foundation to keep you strong when it gets hard. And it's going to get hard. But, you a black person in America. When have you ever had an easy day? That's what I always say.
Clarence said that he loved this and that he takes his personality to work with him, which is good because you know what you sometimes I remember when I used to work a job. I love people and I love to be kind to people, and I used to work with some mental retarded um, individuals, mental retarded individuals. So and even though they had issues, they needed love too. They needed love. And I would take my personality on the job. I would sing to them. I would draw them. I said, I'm gonna draw you. If I got to get down on the ground, draw you. We all gonna get Hollywood, I'm gonna draw you today. Because sometimes they didn't want to be still for me to draw them. And I'll say, I'm gonna get you somehow or another. And then I would show them this beautiful picture, and in their own little way, they loved it. So, but you cannot divorce yourself from your personality, which you can, but like you say, like John Keone said, you're gonna be invisible. So you don't want to
Yeah.
be invisible. So
A lot of people don't. We do this thing when I'm coaching people. And the first thing I ask them is, "What's special about you?" And they'll always throw out their generics. I'm a hard worker. Have a great personality. And when they get done going down their list, they look at me and they're like, "You look bored." I said, "Yes, because you just threw out a bunch of generic terms that
Yep.
puts you in the same category as everybody else."
Yep.
People have to understand your uniqueness is what makes you special and is actually an asset. Things that people told you because of your hobbies, your skills, what you look like is weird. Take that as a good thing. That means you're
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Okay. And you got to use that as an
Right.
asset. And the one I use example is like someone like Michael Strahan. He's got the big gap in his teeth. He's made
mhm.
millions of dollars playing the NFL. He's made millions of dollars being on different networks. He could have been got that fixed, but you know what? He turned that into an asset. That's his distinct look, and he wears it proudly. And people
Yes.
need to learn how to do that.
Absolutely. And that is so powerful because it goes back to what you said a few minutes, Lisette. Everybody may be doing the exact same thing that you're doing, but nobody can do it like you. And when we get to a place of understanding, like Mr. Stevens just said, that we are so unique uniquely and authentically us, and
Yes.
we just do it in our, I love to say flavor, do it in our own flavor. Nobody, I don't care if it's 50 people on your block doing the exact same thing that you're doing, nobody can do it the way that you do it.
Right?
And that would eliminate jealousy, anger, envy, strife, when people realize that you have a purpose, and when you do it, all of creation is waiting for your gift.
That's
Yes.
powerful.
Look at how long it took for women of color to be put in beauty magazines.
Come on now.
Like
Exactly.
it didn't blow up. It didn't get popular until like the 70s. Does it mean to tell me that there's a whole section of people, not just African American women, women of color that can't be deemed beautiful and they can't make it into a beauty magazine because it was different.
Absolutely.
Your cheekbones make you beautiful. Your facial structure makes you beautiful, whether you're Asian, whether you're a woman of color. So you got to learn how to use your attributes and what makes you special. Understand that that uniqueness is what makes you you.
Absolutely. I
Yes.
love that. I absolutely, I love that. I really, really do. Because when my, I call it my ministry is my smile. Whenever you see me, you're going to always catch me smiling. And that smile, God gifted that to me. God gifted that to me. And I know that there's healing in my smile, and it took me a while to embrace that. Why you smiling so much? And the very thing that the enemy fought me with is the very thing that brought deliverance to me and to others.
This is good. Have you ever found yourself trying to hide your shine so um, you wouldn't intimidate someone? Have you ever found yourself doing that? This,
Absolutely.
mhm.
I have. I will say I did until I realized that it was killing me, because I know I have a daily confession, and this was years. I've been saying this for years. Everything that I do is going to work no matter what
Oh,
it is. It's going to work. It always does. That is my daily confession. So even though I grew up with dyslexia, even though, some people may have 50 degrees, I can go in the room and do the exact same thing effortlessly, because God download it to me. Because he
yes.
said, if you lack wisdom, ask him. So I'd be like, hey, God, I don't know what's this, and I can do the exact same thing. And when you find people like that, it will intimidate people. Well, how
Hmm.
does she know? Who does she know? Where's she getting that information from? It intimidates people. So I found myself at one point doing this because I didn't want to intimidate, because it caused people to attack you when they feel intimidated by you. You
Hmm.
can have less than they have, but they still feel intimidated by you. And then, like I said, that voice focusing on the truth, I said, I'm not doing that anymore. I stopped that years ago, because I'm only hurting me and the people that I'm supposed to reach
Wow.
by putting my light up on the hat, hiding my light. I'm
That's
not going
right.
to do that. Those that are supposed to be with me, they will come. Those that are not, they will go. God gave me a lot of gifts, but one of them that I value the most, other than peace, is the gift of goodbye. Bye. And I
You
don't
know,
care what type of way about it.
this is awesome. I thank you. Was it, is it rained off? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. You know, you said it was going to work. But I saw your comment. And all you out there, that's watching, please feel free to make your comments in the chat. This is really interesting. This topic is so needed for the times that we're living in. It's just needed because sometimes you have a, I'll say me. Sometimes I say, where are the unique people at? Where are the authentic people at? Where are they? Just like you said, we was talking about copycats, like the copycat killer and stuff, But what I'm trying to say is, how you do a copycat killer? They go around and copycat what the other, what the other killer did because they want to get all the clout, like the original, But really, you can be yourself, and yes, there's something special about being you. And you said that you are a community leader. What do you do in your community?
So I love having what I call mini conferences. And I speak on a lot of topics when the majority of the topics that I like to speak on are topics that heal from within, like hopelessness. There's so many people that are dealing and battling hopelessness. However, it may mirror something else. It may mirror depression. It may mirror anger, but the root cause of it is hopelessness.
Mhm.
They feel hopeless. And what a lot of people will tell them is, oh, just have faith. Just have faith. And that is true and that is good. But
Mhm.
what they negate to tell them is, you got to
Mhm.
have hope because hope
Yes.
opens your mind, your mind's eye to believe.
Yes.
It opens your mind's eye to be able to see it, that if it's possible for me. So I do a lot of events centered around that. When it comes to juveniles, I love the juvenile population. Right now
Mhm.
the murder rate is up among juveniles. They're killing one another.
Yes.
You have high suicide rates, especially among black females.
Mm, 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 mm.
3 out of 5 black females committing suicide.
Wow.
The alcoholism, the drug abuse, the sexual abuse is up. So I love working with juveniles. I love working with returning citizens, the actual returning citizens from prison,
Mhm.
because they come. And a friend of mine, her name is Sheila Bruno, she talks about post incarcerated syndrome. You have a lot of people, returning citizens, that are dealing with issues that they don't know how to deal with, being instituted into society after
Mm.
being incarcerated for years, and their families don't understand it. Why does this person that's free want to sit in the room and just stay in the room all day where they're used to being in a 5 by 8?
Wow.
Why do they have problems going out in public, being around large crowds? Because in prison they had to keep their back against the wall for protection. So
Mm.
large crowds frighten them. I love, love, love talking and teaching and instructing people in that manner. That's what I do. I
Wow.
just did a conference 2 weeks ago called 911 State of Emergency. And that conference brought the community together. And we
Mm.
talked about the issues in the school violence, how the kids are bringing guns to school. We talked about the community rallying together. You know, each one teach one. If you have a service that your neighbor needs, build that bridge, establish that communication, and work together because it's more room at the top. It's only crowded at the bottom. We got
I
to
like
get
that.
back. We
I
got to
like
get back to the basics. We got to get
absolutely.
back to helping one another.
Absolutely. Now this is really good because I also see that how that you foster. Do you foster children?
I haven't since I've been in Maryland, but I did when I was in North Carolina.
Okay.
I love, love, love fostering kids. It's a little different up here in Maryland. You got to go through a whole lot of hoops, but I love fostering kids because that's my opportunity to impart. It's all about imparting for me.
I think it's so special when you can help someone find their purpose. That's why I really appreciate Keone. He helps to assist people, youth and older. But He helps you into finding what your purpose is. If you got an idea that, hey, this is my purpose, he's going to help to assist you and help you to fine tune that purpose. I really appreciate that with Keone. Hi there. I think that is really cool. Because sometimes there's so many people that a lot of times people know your purpose a little bit and they do everything they can to try to keep you from finding it. They won't
Absolutely.
help you. And sometimes, just like we already talked about, how you're not helping yourself. And a lot of times you don't help yourself because you don't even know what it is yourself.
Yeah.
But it's very important when you have that support and structure that are willing to help you and help you to fine tune what your purpose is. That's powerful.
I can tell how much you love me by that riveting, amazing intro you gave Dr. Tammy, and you said, "Oh yeah, and Keone's here." So,
Well, I never.
what
I
what
never.
one of the things I always tell people is, you have to have faith in something. And Lisette knows me. I don't get into people's faith. What your faith is, your faith is. Have strong conviction in it, and you have to surround yourself with like-minded people and good people. So a lot of times when I hear people go, "Well, my support system sucks," and I'm like, "Do you do realize you are in charge of picking your own friends? Like, it's
That's
not
right.
mandatory that these certain people be your friends." And one thing I really love to impress upon people is you can love family members, but it doesn't mean you have to like them.
That's
What
so
I
true.
mean is, you get to a certain point where friends, family, no matter who it is, if they're not willing to be a positive impact,
Come
you
on.
have to distance yourself, and you cannot care what their assessment is going to be of you once you distance yourself. We get to do this one time, people.
Woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you're Hindu, we get to do this one time, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to determine how happy do you want to be for the percentage of time that you want to be on this planet. That's number one. And always
Powerful.
remember, again, you pick your support system. So if your support system stinks, it's time to change it.
That's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so powerful
Yes.
because most people don't know that they have the power of choice. That is so powerful. And most people feel guilty when they have to disconnect themselves from people.
Mm,
But
mm,
I
mm,
always look at it like this. Do I want to die with you or do I want to live?
mm, 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 mm.
If you are determined to die, and what I mean, I don't mean physical death, but I mean if you are determined to live in negativity,
Mm,
if you
mm,
are
mm,
to
mm.
determine, I mean determine, you got people that are pushing you and loving on you and willing to help you, but you are determined that
Mm,
you're going to live in negativity. I have to love you enough to give you that power of choice because you've already made that choice. The more I'm trying to do this, the more I am sinking. You have to allow people the power of choice.
mm, 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 mm.
The number one thing that you must do is acknowledge that you see them.
Mm.
That's healing in itself. I see
Yes.
you. But if they don't want your help, you can't die trying to help someone else.
Wow.
That is a gift and a talent that is wasted. The one got five, one got two, and one got one talent.
Yes.
And the one that hid his talent in the ground was called wicked.
Mm, 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 mm.
And I said that to say this: if you have the talent and you die because you're trying to save someone else and you never develop that gift and talent in you, you are called wicked.
Woo. Mm, 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 mm.
No,
That's
no
powerful.
ifs, ands, and buts about it. That's not being selfish. That's not being uncaring. That is actually being a real steward.
Mm,
And
mm.
we got to change our perspective. We as women feel guilty if we don't hang in there and fight to the end and you're dying the whole time.
Oh, wow.
You trying to help and build and grow somebody, and you needing help to be built and to grow yourself.
Oh,
What
wow.
good is that? Please tell me what good that does. You
It
can't
doesn't do
pour
any
out of
good.
your cup. If your cup is half full and their cup is empty, if you pour into their cup, your cup is empty. Why not pour out of a full cup so that they can get the overflow and
Mm,
you don't go lacking?
that's powerful.
We gotta reposition and rethink and look at and change our perspective and not feel guilty about it. Yes, I will help you, but if you're not willing to do the work too, then I can't help you and die.
Wow.
What good is that?
This is good. This is good. It reminds me how there is, a family member that I refuse to be around very much. And I found
You
out
didn't have
that,
to put me out there like that, Lisette.
well, I had to do it. I had no,
Jeez,
no, I'm
Auntie.
too
Dang,
happy.
Auntie. I told you I was gonna give you your $40 back. It's been 5 months, but I'm gonna give it to you.
Well, I thought I would share it with them. But I have a family member that I have peace now because I've learned how to deal with this family member. I'm just not going to go around you. I'm just not going to let you send your negativity my way and bring me down. I'm just not going to allow it. I'm just not. And I don't care if you're young or old or whatever, if I've known you for ages, family or not, if you just all that negativity, that bad energy, I got to get away from it. So you're absolutely right, and your gift will make room for you, a way for you, a room. Like I think Clarence made a comment how goodbye is a gift. If you can say goodbye, that's a gift, and just because I love you don't mean I have to continue. I've said it before. I don't have to continue to let you abuse me, you know.
That's right.
And if I can forgive you and love you from a distance, like 100 miles, a long ways distance. Because I have to. It's kind of like I have to have the energy and the fortitude to endure my journey. And if I don't
That's
have
right.
that for my journey, I can't help you. But sometimes we have that mentality that yes, we want to help people. In the meanwhile, our little mess goes undone. So what are we doing? What are we really doing? You know what I'm saying? When we do that, we're not something's screwed up in that. Something's
Yeah.
wrong. Ding dong, something's mixed up. Something, there's a little light up there that ain't quite clicking, you see.
And so in times past, people have said, "Oh, you ain't forgiven if you can't go around them." That's not true. You can separate from that environment, from that toxicity, and still love that
Absolutely.
person.
Yes.
You don't have to separate in hate. You can still love them, but why die in the midst of it?
And then you might kill them if you stay around them too. So it's the best thing. Believe me, it's the best choice.
It's the best advice I gotta take because I'm way too petty to stay around now. I'm very petty, so I gotta limit myself.
Yeah, you really do, and you now in present time you hear people talking about self-care, 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 wellness, self-care. All self-care is caring about yourself.
Mhm.
And how can you love others if you don't love on you?
Mm,
I learned something in my life. And when I learned it, it literally changed my life. And it may be petty, but it changed my life. I noticed how people were treating me. And I realized they were responding to me the exact same way that I treated me.
Come on.
I noticed the people that I was drawing to me. And it was people that the people that I draw to me were the people that I draw to me in a broken state.
Wow.
I knew the moment that I got healed, the moment that I started, that my life started changing and healing began on the inside, because I started attracting healed people to me.
Mm, mm, mm,
I
mm.
started attracting people that were whole, and the conversation was different. The
Yeah.
response was different. The energy was different. And we go through spells, up and downs, and all of that, and whenever stuff starts going left, or someone tries to treat me crazy, now you do got some crazy people. Don't, it ain't all the way, but I start checking the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Have I opened the door? And if I check and nothing's open, nothing broken, nothing missing, bye.
I feel like people also don't ask the right questions. There's like indicators when you meet somebody that that can tell you what path they're on and where you're going. And many people have heard me said that. Like when I'm very big into friendship, and I always say a friend is supposed to enhance your joy and divide your pain. When something good for you happens, they help you celebrate it, make you feel better about it. And when something
That's
bad
right.
happens, they help you divide that pain so you don't take it all on yourself. And
Mhm.
somebody goes, "Well, how do you measure that?" Well, if I come telling you about a promotion I think I'm getting, you don't respond as, "Well, I think I'm getting a promotion as well tomorrow." Like, can we live in my happiness for 2 seconds?
Right. Exactly. That's
Or
good.
you come to give somebody your trauma to talk to your friend, and you give them your trauma, and their response is to tell you their trauma.
Right.
That's right.
So those are two indicators to me that go, okay, I see what avenue you go down during these types of conversations, and I know how to assess and address you from now on.
Yeah,
That's a good way to look at it and to point it
absolutely.
out.
It's amazing, that we as a society have become so conditioned, because what Mr. Stevens just said, that's a conditioning. I'm going to out trump you in the conversation. Whether it's trauma, well, I was broke too, girl, and you don't, they
Right.
won't, it's a out trump comparison going on. Conditioning.
Right.
What happened to listening? What happened to empathy? What happened to compassion? What happened to understanding? What happened to tough love? Because sometimes you got to tough love people and tell them, hey, no, you are wrong.
That's
Get it
good.
right.
And Clarence said, don't allow them to take your peace, which is pretty cool. And I like what you said. They'd be trying to out trump, be trump over your. This is really good. They don't listen. Now
No.
we're getting close to the closing. How would someone get up with you, Dr. Tammy, if they needed to
So
for you to come and speak with them?
you can type in my website, go to my website, and you can book me, and that is www.tymccotter43 which is wixsite.com/website. And that'll take you to my website, or you can go to LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. On LinkedIn and Instagram, I am Dr. Tammy McCotter. Instagram, I am Dr. Tammy Speaks. And Facebook, I am Tammy McCotter. Send me a DM, as the young people say, and I will definitely respond.
This is really awesome. We're going to make some closing remarks because we're getting to the end of the show here. So, I would just like to say, to you, I'm gonna let you be since you're our guest, you're gonna make the closing remarks. But to anybody out there that don't know your purpose, you got to go back to the one that gave you the purpose and ask God, say, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? When you get your purpose, hold on to it, just like you're holding on to, like I'm holding on to my glasses. Refuse to let anyone come and take that away from you. And even though you don't know all what it's about, I don't know the depth and the length and the width of all my purpose, but I know that God has given it to me. And one thing about it, I'm determined that I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do before I leave this planet. We all got to leave from here one day. We got to be transformed one way or the other. So you got to be determined that you're going to live out your purpose and be you, just like Dr. Tammy was saying, you're unique you. You're unique. And just think about that. You're the only one in this whole wide world like you. There's not another one like you. I don't care if you have a twin and the twin might resemble you a little bit, still not the same fingerprint. It's not the same. And even if I know they said one time there was some, every now and then you'll find some twins that might have the same fingerprint, but they're still not the same. There's something different. So there's a uniqueness about them. So you are unique. I love you today, and just know that you're special, and that we're going to take it on over there to Dr. Tam. Go for it, Dr. Tam. Go for it.
If there was anything that I could leave you with today, I would say this. When you look at yourself,
Mm,
and I mean take a moment to look at yourself, examine yourself. And when you do that, find the beauty in you. Outside of your mistakes, we all have them. Outside of your troubles, we all have them. Outside of the he said, she said, they
wow.
said, and you said, there is something so uniquely, divinely created about you that if you don't do it, if you don't say it, if you don't be it, if you don't represent it, the world is at a loss.
Mm, 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 mm.
It may not be the entire world. When I mean world, I mean the your sphere of influence. It is something that they will miss if you don't stand up and be authentically you.
Mm, mm,
We
mm.
are waiting for you. We don't want your representative. We don't want who you want us to see that you are. We need you. And in being authentically you,
Mm, 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 mm.
somebody's life is going to be changed. Somebody is going to get the strength to be themselves. Somebody is going to find forgiveness. Somebody is going to find love. Somebody's going to gain peace. Somebody's going to look at you as a mentor. Somebody's going to gain hope. Just you being you. So if you don't get anything else out of this broadcast today, take away this one nugget. Become authentically you, because I'm telling you, all creation, the influence that you have is waiting on the real you, the
Wow.
designer you.
Wow. Keone, I'm sorry. I didn't, you got something to say?
Oh, I get to follow up Dr. Tammy. That's great. Um,
Awesome.
no, you know, it wouldn't be me if it wasn't me. You know what? Love yourself. I'll be very simple. Love yourself. And how do you know you love yourself? Ask yourself this question, because this is the question I used to ask myself. If I had a time machine, what would I go back and change? And I used to always find these different things that I would go back and tell myself and change. But when you go back and change something, you're going to change everything. So when I realized I loved myself, now that answer to that question is absolutely nothing, because I love who I am now. I don't want to go back and change anything, because then I'm
Hmm.
going to be a different person.
Yes,
That's true.
So I don't know
absolutely.
if Randolph's wow was for me, or it's probably what Dr. Tammy said. It's probably not the wow for me. I'm a little more simpleton, but that's my advice for people out there. And you all talked about loving yourself and feeling it from the inside. And what people miss is, and I keep going back to support system because I just want people to understand, nobody does anything in life by themselves. When people tell me, well, I'm going to do this on my own, I did everything on my own. I'm like, you absolutely did not.
Not.
You
That's
cannot
true.
do anything on your own. Well, I started a business on my own. Somebody gave you a loan. Somebody
Right.
gave you support. So
Hmm.
make
Hmm.
sure you do not underestimate the power of your support system.
This is good. I thank you so very much, everyone, for watching the show. What advice I would give you for today is go do something special for you, just for you, for no
Yeah.
one else. Thank you, Clarence. I appreciate
Well,
that.
Clarence is contractually obligated to say great show after every show, or he's in trouble.
Well, no, I mean, I let him have his way.
Yeah, he's a contractually obligated through me to not be coming on here.
Y'all have a great day. Thank you for coming to the show. And don't forget to watch us some more times in August. Okay. We love you. We love you. We love you.
What would a show be